Hello and welcome to Barbershop Books Storytime with Alvin Irby. That's me. Today we are continuing our read aloud from before. Do you remember the name of today's story? It's called Barbershop Books. Kidding, it's called Pink and Say. Now, do you remember what this story was about? I'll refresh your memory. This story was about history, something that happened a long time ago. Do you remember what happened? There was this thing called a Civil War. Ooh, it's kind of scary. It was scary. The North, they were fighting against the South. There were two different armies in the same country. In the North, there were the Union soldiers. In the South, there were the Confederate soldiers. And they were fighting each other. Do you remember why? Remember, there were people down in the South. And they wanted them to work for free. No money, just working. And the people in the North said, if somebody works, they should be paid. You can't just keep people and make them work and work and work all day and never pay them. That's not fair. That's not right. And so that's what we're in the middle of right now, is a story about two soldiers, two Union soldiers who found each other. Now, one of them had been injured. His name was Sheldon, but everybody called him Say. Who saved him? Well, Pincus, of course, but everyone calls him Pink. That's why the name of the story is Pink and Say. And let me just remind you, this is Say, or Sheldon, and this is Pincus, or Pink for short. Pink and Say. Pincus saved Sheldon. Pink saved Say. That's all you got to remember. He brought him back to his home, and his mom helped nurse him back to health, meaning that he's not sick anymore. So that's where we pick up the story. As we rested under the one more thing. The person who's telling the story, it's Sheldon. It's Say. He's the one who's telling the story. As we rested under the willow tree, Pink asked me about my family back home. Got one brother still at home to help run the place for Paul, I answered. What was your outfit again, Pink asked. He asked me before. Ohio 24th. I carried the staff. Wasn't supposed to carry a gun, but then so many people died, even the boys had to carry after so many were slaughtered like hogs. Man, this is scary. When people go to war, it can be super duper dangerous. And sometimes people get hurt, and sometimes people don't even come back because they get so hurt. So, war, it's a very, very dangerous thing. Least you got to carry. In the 48, we couldn't even have guns at first. We fought with sticks and hammers and sledges. Can you imagine not trusting us with our own fight? With our own fight. Well, Pink was fighting for the rights of himself and all the other people who wanted to be free. They were held without being paid, and they were forced to work for no money. That was not good. And so Pink said, you know what? I want to fight for my people so that we can be free and not slaves. So he said, at least you got to carry. They had to fight with sticks and stuff. That would not be good. I couldn't imagine such a thing. Then, when they did finally give us muskets, they were from the Mexican-American War. Those muskets jammed and misfired. So even when they got a chance to fight in the war, they gave them old rusty stuff that wouldn't even work right. That doesn't sound fair to me, and it sounds super duper dangerous. Then how in God's name can you want to go back, I asked. 'Cause it's my fight. Say, ain't it yours too? If we don't fight, then who will? I had no answer for him, but God forgave me. I didn't want to ever go back to it. So, Say is saying he didn't want to go back and fight in the war. He wanted to go home. But Pincus wanted to fight to free his people and so that he could be free and stay free. Let me show you the picture. So here they are, Pink and Say. They're sitting under, it looks like a willow tree because it's flowing down. They're sitting under the willow tree and they're talking together. Do you see them? Oh, and there's Pink's mother in the background, Momo Bay. It looks like she's doing laundry. All right. After a few more days, I could walk a little steadier, but still needed help. Pink took me out by the big house and walked me through it. Weren't much left of it really. It was mostly burned out. Master Ailey had a library full of books. Right here, he said, he taught me to read, even though it was against the law. It was against the law to teach slaves how to read. And Pink used to be a slave, but because of the war, he had gotten free from them. But can you believe that? He wasn't supposed to read, but he learned how to read. All right, let's keep reading. He must have been a good man, I said. More bad than good, Say. Sometimes I think he just liked being read to. There was this book of poetry, Say, that was this thick. And he's like, it must have been a really thick book. For those of you who are just tuning in, we're reading Pink and Say. It's a history type of children's book about something that happened during the Civil War, it's a scary time. All right, let's keep on going. I blessed this house because of all those beautiful books, but I cursed it too for what it stood for. What it stood for? I think that's because Pink and a lot of his family and friends were forced to work and work and work all day, every day for no money. That's what happened in America to slaves. They had to work all day, every day for no money. It wasn't good. To be born a slave is a heap of trouble, Say. But after Ailey taught me to read, even though he owned me, I knew that nobody ever could really own me. Because when you learn to read, you can think. You can learn all kinds of cool stuff. You feel hot, Pink? I said. Lord, I think you are as sick as me. Let me fetch you back to the house. I'll be fine, boy. Just a little tired, that's all. I'll be ready to fight, though. I'll be ready to fight. So here we have it. Here's Pink and here's Say. And they're looking at some of the old books that survived the fire. Because Pink knew how to read. All right. That night, after we ate, Momo Bay came back to the table with a worn old Bible. She was so happy. My heart ached at the thought of telling her we'd be leaving soon. Master Ailey showed him how paper talks. Show him, Pink. She said. He took out a pair of spectacles from his pocket and opened the Bible to Psalms of David and started to read. His voice was steady and had such wonder. Just hearing them words made pictures come into my head. I surely do wish I could read, I announced to them without thinking. When Pink saw I was ashamed, he took my hand. I'll teach you, Say. Some one day, I'll teach you. I could feel my face flushing up. Then I spoke up. I done something important, I announced. Of course you have, child, of course you have, his mother said. I touched Mr. Lincoln's hand. Mr. Lincoln, he's talking about President Abraham Lincoln. That was the president of the United States during the Civil War. And so here they are. Do you see it? Here's Pink. And here, no, I'm sorry. This is Say. This is Pink. This is Say. And this is Momo Bay, his mother. And he's reading. And guess what? Say doesn't even know how to read. So he was like, wow, you know how to read? He was really amazed that he knew how to read. And he thought it was magical that he could read the words and it could make pictures come into his head. When you read or someone reads to you, do pictures come into your head? That's one of the cool things about reading. That when you read, it can almost make like a movie in your head. Isn't that cool? So let's get back to the story and hear about the time that Say shook the hand of Abraham Lincoln. I touched Mr. Lincoln's hands. It were near Washington. We recorded there just before Bull Run. I think that was one of the battles in the Civil War, the Battle of Bull Run. The president himself was shaking everybody's hands, and I just put my hand right out there, just like that. And he took it, Pink asked. Yep, he took it, I answered. Now, there's a sign, ain't it? He said, smiling broadly. Touch my hand, Pink. Now you can say you touch the hand that shook the hand of Abraham Lincoln. And guess what? That's exactly what Pink did. When Sheldon put his hand out, Pink shook his hand. And now he could say he shook the hand of a hand that shook the president's hand. President Abraham Lincoln. Wow. I'm sure they were so excited to kind of be able to shake a famous person's hand. Have you ever shook the hand of a famous person? Maybe not a president, maybe a movie star, or maybe an athlete, or an astronaut, or a business person, or I don't know. Who do you consider famous? Let's get back to the story. Next best thing to touching him, Momo Bay said in wonder. And look, there they all are. And I think this is where they're going to shake hands. Isn't that cool? Most of the next day, Pink was studying an old map. Marauders don't fan out further than 30 miles or so from their camps. Do you remember what marauders are? They're like thieves and people who run around taking things that don't belong to them, and they hurt people. Marauders are not good people at all. Let's see what else happened. If they come here, then their units must be close. We got to get south of the river. See here, Say? That's where my troops were headed. We can meet up with them about here, I figure. So they're looking at a map, and Pink is trying to figure out where can he meet up with his troops, the ones that he got separated from. Meet up with who? You ain't leaving, his mother's voice caught as she came upon us. Uh-oh. His mother is like, you are not going back to that Civil War. You are staying right here in the house where you are safe. Do you think that Pincus and Sheldon should go back to war? Do you think Pink and Say they should go back to the Civil War? Or do you think they should stay home and stay safe? Let's keep reading and find out what happens. Now, my mother knew we couldn't stay here. You had to know that, he said as he tried to calm her. No, 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 babies, my dear babies, she cried. She was inconsolable for a time. That means that she was like really sad and crying because she didn't want her boy to go off to war because it's dangerous. He could get hurt. Then she sat still and afraid as she just listened. Mother, this war has to be won, or this sickness that has taken this land will never stop. The sickness? Well, he's talking about slavery. Remember? All those people who were forced to work all day, every day, for no money. And they were treated horribly. They were hurt all the time. And if they tried to get away, well, they were hurt even more. So, slavery was a horrible thing that happened here in America. And Pincus wanted to fight so that it could be ended. Let's keep reading. Pink always called slavery the sickness when he talked. We have to go. He knelt at her feet. By the look that came into her eyes, she'd known that this day was coming. So his mom knew that at some point they were going to have to leave and go back and fight for their freedom. I could feel my breathing catch. My chest was heavy. My hands were sweating. I felt sick to my stomach. I knew that I had to tell Pink something. I just didn't know how. I wonder what he has to say to Pink. I wonder if he's going to tell him that he doesn't want to fight or that he's not going to fight. I don't think Pink is going to like that at all. And look, here's Pincus talking to his mom and explaining that he has to go back and fight to free the people. Who? To free his people who were forced to be slaves and to work all day, every day for no money. Well, let's see what happens next. That night, I couldn't sleep. What's wrong, child? Momo Bay said from her chair. I don't want to go back, I blurted out. I know, child, she said. Of course you don't. Of course you don't. You don't understand. I took up and run away from my unit. I was hit when I was running. I sobbed so hard my ribs hurt. I'm a coward and a deserter. Do you know what a deserter is? That means that you just leave from doing something that you're supposed to do. Oh, man. She looked at the fire and said nothing for the longest time. Then her voice covered my cries. You ain't nothing of the kind. You're a child. A child. So, Pincus's mom was trying to comfort Sheldon or say so that he wouldn't feel so bad. Child, being brave don't mean you ain't afraid. Don't you know that? I don't want to die. Oh man, that's so scary. And war is scary. It's super dangerous. And people can get hurt. A lot of people do get hurt. So Pink wanted to go and fight in the war, but Say did not. The things worse than death, child. There are things worse than death, child. But you got nothing to fear. You are here now, and I'm hugging you up. You're going to be an old man someday. When it is your time, sweet Lord, send a hummingbird to fly your soul to heaven. Now, you ain't afraid of hummingbirds, are you? Her words brought me sweet sleep. That night, I dreamt of hummingbirds and green pastures full of sunlight and wildflowers. So guess what? Even though he was super afraid, he still kind of got confidence from hearing Momo Bay talk to him. The next morning, we mustered. Oh, here's the picture. I know you want to see it. There's Momo Bay hugging Say, trying to make him feel better. That night, I couldn't sleep. What's wrong, child? Momo Bay said from her chair. Oh, wait, I already read that page. The next morning, we mustered to leave. We packed cornbread, salt pork, and dried beans. I could have done just about anything to stay, but my place was to go with Pink. I owed him that. Just as we were making the last sweep of the place, making sure that there were no signs of us ever being there, we heard wild screams and shrieks coming from the woods. Oh no, who's in the woods? Marauders, Pink said as he grabbed a piece of wood for a club. Oh man, this is scary. There are marauders outside. Momo Bay took it from him. Get to the root cellar. They ain't got no truck with an old dark woman, so she meant they ain't gonna bother me. You get into the cellar, you hear? We didn't like it, but then she pushed us. Hurry up. They're here. She lifted the root cellar door, shoved them in. Don't come out till I tell you. So the boys, Pink and Say, are hiding down in the root cellar from the marauders. And Pink's mother, Momo Bay, I guess is going to talk to them. Man, that's dangerous. We didn't like it, but they were in there. We heard the porch steps creak as she ran from the cabin. She's drawing them off, Pink whispered. When the marauders came in, my heart was pounding so hard. I was sure they could hear it up above us. There was terrible commotion as they ransacked looking for food. Then there was silence. A single shot echoed through the trees outside. A shot? Oh no. What happened? They let out a war whoop as they thundered off. We waited for a sign from Momo Bay, but it didn't come. Finally, we climbed out and ran outside only to see Momo Bay lying just beyond the porch. What happened? Oh no. You know what? That is the end of today's story for today. We're going to pick up next time with the rest, part 3 of Pink and Say. Thank you so much for listening and for watching Barbershop Books Story Time. If you would like to learn more about Barbershop Books or to make a donation, you can visit our website, barbershopbooks.org. You can also connect with us on social media at Barbershop Books. Well, until next time, bye.